BowTie Barbecue Company at 6724 Waters Avenue in Savannah serves up barbecue both familiar and new, made by hand and made with love. Family friendly and relaxed, BowTie takes great pride in the by hand preparation of high quality beef ribs, smoked chicken, pork spare ribs, and more. Come join the BowTie family. Ask about our food truck and catering too. BowTie Barbecue Company, Southern charm naturally. Look for them online at BowTieBarbecueCO.com.
Welcome into BowTie Barbecue here in beautiful Savannah, Georgia, on an absolutely gorgeous day. I think this is the reason why people live on the coast of Georgia is days like today right here. About 73 degrees outside, little breeze. Can smell the salt water a little bit. So just a perfect day in Savannah. Glad to have you alongside as we're talking Benedictine Cadets football with the head coach, Danny Britt. And Coach, coming off of a bye week, a chance after a really tough run of games and some success to kind of reevaluate, get healthy, and practice some of the things you guys needed to focus on. What have these last 13 days been like since we last saw you on the field against Warner Robins?
Yeah, it's been really, really good. Honestly, like you said, we thankfully had gotten healthy, and it showed, and we're playing well, and we've got everybody out there. So that's been great. My goal was to not mess that up.
Right.
And we talk about what can we do to get better without risking injury. You try to go 1v1s, and we've done that before, but I just don't want to risk the injury, or it's very, very close contact situations when we're doing it. So we haven't, we were able to get real specific with certain things, specifically 2-point plays, practicing overtime, defending Hail Mary, just specifically working on onside kicks and things like that. Just detail oriented things that, you don't have time to really do during the beginning of the year. So we spent a lot of time doing those sort of things.
If you had to put your finger on it, just in terms of where you guys have developed the most from beginning of the year against Camden and Colquitt to now, what unit or what aspect of the game do you feel like you've seen the most strides?
Gosh, that's a very good question. I'd have to, just because of the nature of the beast, have to go with the offensive line.
Sure.
Because, they were almost all new, and then Carlton was in essence new. Because, he only got a few plays last year. So I think those guys have made really good strides and are continuously getting better, which we need them to. But, it would have to be those guys.
Sure. Let's talk about Carlton for a second, because my friend Ben Troop used to say, if you're 6'3", 300 pounds, you have to prove to me that you can't play football.
Right.
And he's just one of those bodies where it's natural, God-given, that he's that big of a human being. And obviously the parents play a big part in that as well. But he's just a massive human being. There's a lot of massive human beings walking around who aren't very good football players, and he, I think, has developed the last few weeks, and we saw it in that Warner Robins game where he's 40 yards downfield pancaking a DB. I think we talk about it all the time. When you can stop thinking and can just go out there and execute, it really allows you to play up to your full potential, and I think we're starting to see that he can be very special.
Yeah, definitely. Very good football player, but he has developed since last year. And the thing that happened when he got injured, and it was a bad injury, and very bad injury. And
first game, first snap.
Well, and then he had to have multiple surgeries.
Right.
The entire knee was blown out. And Dr. Settery, Coach Ed, myself, we all sat him down in different scenarios and said, hey, this can go one of two ways. And, Carlton at the time probably was 340, and wasn't moving very well and those things. He made a decision right then and there that he wasn't going to let that happen. He lost weight, actually, did everything Coach Ed told him to do, got faster. Considerably faster, lost 30, 40 pounds. And is just a much, much better football player. Can literally 40 yards downfield in front of Josh Washington, making a pancake block to spring Josh into the end zone. So I got so much better, and really working on him getting recruited. I think Georgia Southern got on him the other night, and he was at their game Thursday night. So, he's got the opportunity certainly to be a very good player in college.
About to say, I think there's going to be some big time schools coming through and looking at him, just because you have to evaluate somebody when they're that size. And like you said, it's not sloppy. It's an athletic 330 pounds. That's something you definitely got to pay attention to. And
Right.
next level for him, I know playing tackle for you guys right now. Do you think he projects as a tackle, or would you say guard maybe?
It depends where he ends up, but be
Yeah.
guard, and because I mean it's crazy. He's short for tackle.
Right. Yeah.
That's what Jacoby.
Basically got to be 6'5" and up as a tackle now.
And Jacoby was 6'4" and a quarter, and was there like, nah, we're gonna move to guard.
Yeah.
You know, like my gosh. But unless it depends again where he ends up, but he definitely can move well enough to play guard without beyond a shadow of a doubt.
And I think just that side of the offensive line maybe a little bit becoming, hey, we need 2 yards. We're running right side.
Definitely, and that was the idea, I think, and then so yeah, we have that stability there, and they're developing. Noah's developing soundly as well.
And I know the rest of the offensive line, like you said, just as a unit, kind of congealing a little bit better. And I think as those guys get more and more snaps, it's just going to get better. Coach Fogarty, in his first year in the role as the offensive line coach here, and I know he's a guy, he played for BC, he played college football, just overly passionate about this. And I think that's kind of what you need out of your offensive line coach. Definitely. And I think it's starting to bleed a little bit into that group as well. Like it's not just we're going out and playing a football game. You're playing BC football on a Friday night. That means something.
Definitely. And what's great about that is, the way we practice is everybody plays both sides of the ball,
right,
to a certain degree. Now we've established, hey, these are the offensive linemen. So Coach Fogarty's got them all the time. Even when we go all available, and everybody's at Team D, he's got him over there. Coach Phillips has a few of the skill guys and quarterbacks working.
Sure.
And he's got all the linemen, and they are just gelling and becoming a unit that that hopefully is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And I'm curious because Kevin and I have talked about this during a few games. Like last week, Coach Phillips says, okay, that's good enough, takes the headset off and starts to head down. Who's calling those plays for the offense the last few minutes of the game when that offensive staff's heading down?
Coach Collins.
Okay.
Coach Collins is our sub-varsity, just the way we do it, the way we have a JV, a C team, and a freshman team, according to who we're playing and what they're willing to play against. But Coach Collins is the one that's doing that.
That's kind of what we thought, just because when you see the Thomas Brennans and that crew that comes in that plays for the C team get that chance, it's probably my favorite part of the game last week. Is it's not a step down. If anything, those guys are ramping up the energy because like, all right, cool, we got 2 minutes and a dream right now. We want to put the ball in the end zone. I think you kind of had to slow that down and say, all right, we're going to kneel it out because these dudes are going to die to get into the end zone right here.
Yeah, and I get it, and I love it. And I tell them when in situations like that, I'll go in at half, and I'm like, hey, if we put you out there, your job is to score, to get the interception, to get the sack, to get the block, whatever. You don't feel sorry.
Right.
That is my job. And I don't want to be, run up score.
Sure.
I don't want to be known for that. I know the sun doesn't shine on the same dogs behind every day. So, hopefully people will think the same for me eventually. And, but yeah, those guys are super excited, and they're like, let's go, and they play really hard as they should. But I don't want to be that guy just running up the score like crazy.
Sure, it's always fun to see those guys get out there and get a chance, and it pays dividends years down the line when those guys have had those varsity snap experiences. But I don't want to talk about the freshmen too much because a very significant day coming up tomorrow night where you have senior night and a group that has been pretty historic for you guys. 37 wins over the past 3.5 seasons for those guys, a state championship, a couple of region titles, fighting for a third region title. Just, again, it's kind of become the standard now, but I think they've done an excellent job of upholding that.
Definitely. And they are very hungry and have been this whole year, have done an incredible job since February is when we really kind of start ramping it up as a football team for the next year. And have just done a really good job of leading workouts, of leading practices, meetings, everything. Have done a great job. And in fact, we voted on captains yesterday after practice, which is very, very important to me and to this program. It's the only award we give.
Right.
And, they did a good job of that, and actually we'll announce those today. So I don't, and so they'll be the guys out there before the coin toss tomorrow. But, we ended up having to go to 6 guys, because
cool.
it just so many. I mean, it was just so balanced out. But there were definitely 6 or there were more deserving guys
Right.
to be the captain role. So they've done a great job.
And I know it goes by so fast, and these guys coming up on the last 3 games of their senior regular season and getting ready for the playoffs. But when you think back 3.5 years ago to those 14, 15-year-olds walking on to BC's campus, anything stand out just in terms of maybe somebody who surprised you in development or just that group as a whole?
Gosh, I don't know. Thinking about that, I remember like Stephen and Bubba who came over from another school and watching them develop, has been incredible. Gosh, Cam Cody, who I'm not sure he knew that he liked football.
Right.
I think you and I talked about that before. And
he likes it now.
His mama was like, "No, you're going to play." And I'm like, "No, you're playing football, dude. You're going to at least give it a shot."
Right.
And I'd say he's done all right.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. I think it's going to be good for his future.
Committed to Clemson.
Yeah.
So just all these different kids. I think, I'll tell you this, Jaden Houston, who's Coach Houston's son, who's the senior this year, who's been hanging around with us all summer because he would come spend the entire summer with his dad, right? And his mom lives in North Carolina. And thinking about him from a little kid that would come to our camps, and it would be funny because we're there all day long, so he becomes everybody's child.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I'm over there either giving, like, Dad said I couldn't have another Snickers bar. And I'm like, come here, man.
Yeah.
I'm over there, and Galen's like,
probably still doing that.
Yeah, I'll still like, hey, if you want a Snickers bar, come get one. But no, just watching him go from a child,
right,
and a kid that just hanging around everywhere to a young man who's done an incredible job and just it's become the emotional leader of our defense.
Right.
And I don't know, man. It kind of brings me to tears thinking about all these guys because it goes so fast.
I know, and it kind of kills me because Jaden, kind of the opposite of that. We always heard of the Texas red shirt, where they get to about 7th grade and they go, okay, we're going to pull them back for another year. So they're 19 when they're graduating instead of 18. Oh, they pulled the opposite on you, man. You could have had another year at inside linebacker.
I'm telling you, and you see how much. I mean, he's just now matured.
Right.
He's fast. He hit 19 on the GPS the other day. And as an inside linebacker, I mean, that's really good. And it's killing me. We all these kids are so young. I mean, Jameer Lee, I've talked about him before. He's 15 years old, won't be 16 till May.
Yeah.
Damien, gosh, is young. He could be a year behind. So anyway, all these kids, we need to start working. I got to figure out how to organize that in this community. They do it in these small towns,
right?
Where, they get together and all the parents talk and do it. Like, I don't know how to make that happen in Savannah.
Well, you got to get there like when they're like 5 or 6. Get with the parents then.
We could at least make it a Catholic rule. All Catholics have to hold their kids back.
Yeah,
for red shirt
at least once.
At least once.
That's
if you can look at the numbers, do it twice.
That's it. It pays off because you're 19 going in as a freshman. It's a big difference than being 17 and going in as a freshman. But again, really special with this senior class. And I know one of my favorite parts now that we've been doing this for long enough is I'm on the sideline and Luke Kromenhawk and Holden Gerner are warming up. And then you see a guy like a Stephen Cannon down there slinging it around. You're like, ooh, that ball kind of comes out of there a little bit different. Like that could be something. And then now we're here 3 years later and he's a senior quarterback. Looks great. You see the Cam Cody go out there and hit. If I did a cannonball, that's about the size of one of his thighs. And you're like, again, he has to prove to me he's not good at football. I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like this has got to be one of the reasons you do it is after 4 years looking at the product than the result.
Yeah, it is. That is such a fun part to be a part of. And sometimes, Steph and I were talking about this the other day. Sometimes I start to take it for granted, the college coaches. And, well, I tell you, a college coach was calling me the other day and I'm like, she's like, you used to would have jumped up and
right.
I got to talk to this guy. And I'm like, you're right. So of course I answered the phone, but anyway, I don't need to take it for granted for sure.
No, we definitely expand our problems, right?
When
we get rid of the easier problems, we just create more problems for ourselves. Like, I got too many college coaches calling me. So, just rich people problems there, just rich in spirit. So it's really special senior groups. We encourage everybody tomorrow night to get out there against Wayne. Also the last guaranteed home game of the season for the cadets. They hit the road to take on Perry, and then they'll finish the season in Pooler Stadium against New Hampstead before hopefully a home playoff game. But this is your last guaranteed home game coming up for the season. So pack out Memorial Stadium, come say thank you to these seniors who have just sacrificed so much and produced so much for this program. But again, taking on a very talented Wayne County team coming up. Haven't had the season they want to, but a team that has shown the propensity to jump up and bite you if you don't take them seriously. That's coming up tomorrow night at 7:30. We're going to preview that game next right here on the Danny Britt Show.
I'm Kenny Granger from Cash and Carry. We're a family-owned business right here in Savannah. We have sections of vehicles that really make it all simple. You'll get a printout of where the vehicle's at, the color of the vehicle. We really want them to be able to come in the yard and find out right where they need to be. The average savings would be at least 70, 80, could be even 90% compared to original manufactured parts. So you can come to a place like Cash and Carry and find the parts that you need at an extremely reasonable price. We'd love for you to come check us out.
As the world's largest lifestyle retailer of recreational boats and yachts, MarineMax is dedicated to connecting people with life-changing experiences on the water. More than just a boat retailer, MarineMax offers a complete range of services. 3518 Old Tybee Road, Thunderbolt, and online at marinemax.com. Criminal defense, family law, DUI, and divorce. You need representation. The one to call is Savannah's own Jonathan V. Dunn, PC, attorney at law. Voted a Thomson Reuters super lawyer consecutively since 2023. Online at jvdattorney.com. Cool Vibes Pizza and Wings is one of Savannah's most popular. Could be the New York style pizza, or the pasta, or sandwiches, or wings. Whatever you choose, Cool Vibes has their own unique style. Check them out at 4501 Montgomery Street, Savannah.
Welcome to Sandnat Golf Carts, where luxury meets quality. We offer a wide selection of top-notch custom golf carts to suit your every need. With our extensive inventory, you're sure to find the ride of your dreams. Plus, our flexible financing options make it easier than ever to drive one off the lot today. Whether you're cruising the neighborhood or joyriding with the family, Sandnat Golf Carts is here to provide exceptional service every step of the way. Visit us today to elevate your ride.
Welcome back into BowTie Barbecue. Christian Gokel alongside Danny Britt, and Coach, a very poignant night tomorrow night as you honor your seniors.
Very much so. And as proud sponsors, Abel's Iron on Moore and Associates invites you to join them in congratulating this year's seniors. Let us celebrate the hard work, dedication, and heart these young athletes have shown on and off the field. Go Cadets.
And Coach, again, some news kind of coming out of the program yesterday breaking that LaDamian Guyton, your big-time defensive end, reclassing for this class 2026 to head to Texas Tech. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, they have been Texas Tech and others have been pushing for him to do that. So we've met with him and his mother and told him that we as a school, the school administration, the educational leadership would support him in whatever they felt like was best for him. They like that. So we'll continue to do that. But right now, LaDamian wants to do this. We are focused on this season,
right,
and him this academic semester, and we'll move forward with that as it comes. But certainly we want to support him.
I was about to say, I think if you pinned him up and said, "Hey, what are you worried about right now?" It's probably Wayne County winning a state championship, because that was the whole purpose of coming over here, was to play in these massive games.
He wants to. He is just like, I just want to focus right now on this season and playing with my brothers. And you go watch him at practice. He has a blast practicing with these guys. So that's right now what his focus is.
Well, Wayne County coming to town. Hasn't been an overly successful season for them this year. Just one win. They separate from their head coach about midway through the season. And again, this isn't a program. It might seem that way because everything's so now focused. But 2 years ago, won 7 games. The year before that, they won 10 games. This is a historically very good program. But the past couple of years kind of hit the doldrums there a little bit. But as Warner Robbins found out, a team that can jump up and bite you if you don't take them serious.
Well, they have. I mean, they got big players. They got some playmakers. Big country boys, so can make things happen. And sometimes, I don't know what exactly happened, with their head coach, and I hate to see that anytime.
Sure.
The coaches certainly hate to see that, but sometimes there can be an inspiration behind, where the guys all of a sudden, whoever's new, the kids get excited about that. So you got to watch all of those, those things when you're playing. But as I keep telling our guys, it's about us. It's about us being the best we can be, us competing against each, ourselves, getting better every day, and finding ways to do that. And, that's what Coach Saban has always preached is, it's about you. If you go do and follow your process and get better and better, that's all you can really control. So a good team, or could be a good team, and we'll have to see. Hopefully we'll go out and perform like we should.
I was going to say, if nothing else, they're going to be about 300 pounds across the line of scrimmage, and they're going to have a couple of guys that can fly around and make plays. It always seems like they have one or two guys that just kind of stand out. You're like, wow, they shouldn't be that big and be able to move that fast. And when you look at this team, like you said, came out, galvanized, won a big region game, and now this would be kind of a Super Bowl for them if they can come to Savannah and take down BC. What are they going to try to attack you with, and what are they kind of presenting to you on film?
Yeah, and my kids, all 100 of them would quote when I say this. I said, we know where Wayne County is right now, but what is the one thing they can do to completely turn that season around? And they'll all go, beat BC. I'm like, exactly. Understand that's the mindset that, where they're at every time. And we said the same thing about Warner Robins, and, and that was very true. So, we have to first go out and take care of it. But what they're going to do is they run a lot of, they run some doubles, but then mostly they run, some slot with the H-back, and they're letting the H-back play, a little bit of tight end play. And, try to run some counters as power football, and then some play action off of that. That's their primary thing. Defensively, they'll play, multiple coverages, defenses, mostly even stuff. And then, we'll play in a couple of different coverages in the secondary and play hard. They have a number of guys that play both ways. They have a very good kicker who's kicked a number of field goals and about 56% of the time make touchbacks. But they have a lot of the same guys playing offense, defense, also covering kicks on special teams. So, what we talk about is we have to take advantage of that in the kicking game. So hopefully we will.
And covering the sport as long as I have, October always seems to be the month where weird things happen. And then when you're playing against a team like this, again, they're struggling, don't help them. And a lot of times you'll see in a game like this where you're like, okay, cool, we're supposed to win. If you give them hope and you start bleeding late into the second quarter, that's where the funky things start happening. You got to come out firing on all cylinders.
That's exactly right. That's what I'll continue to talk to our guys about. That is a fact. You come out, and just like we did against Warner Robins, came out and, pretty much took the hope away immediately. And that's what we got to do. Just go out and play to our capabilities. And I think we will. I think the way we've been practicing, the things we've been doing, I feel like we will, go out and just show them who we are from the get-go.
And coming out of Warner Robins, again, I know people think, okay, cool, 61-0, probably not too much to correct on that tape, but going back, watching that, and just overarchingly through the season, what are some things you are looking for on Friday night that's going to tell you, hey, we're taking the steps in the right direction?
Yeah, I think one, defensively, we've got to get off blocks a little bit better, continue to work on that. We have gotten better throughout the season, but we've got to get better at that. Footwork in the secondary is something we tend to get lazy, and I get it. They really weren't challenging us deep against Warner Robins, but I can't stand it when a high safety or high corner, is standing flat-footed from the beginning. It drives me crazy. So, things like that. Special teams, we have to continue to clean up on kickoff. For whatever reason, we're not really getting the touchbacks anymore from John, although he's kicking the ball well for the most part. We got to clean up the coverage on that, which was much better last week against Warner Robins. But again, they just weren't blocking as well. Ware did a great job with the blocking. Clean up, just cleaning up special teams in general. Offensively, again, we've just gotten better and better. And looked pretty fluid, and that's as an offense should. It just starts looking smooth. What we got, just completely take away the pre-snap penalties or the penalties that undisciplined penalties that just put us in situations where we pretty much can't get a first down.
Sure. And I think defensively, one of the tough things when you're playing against teams that struggle offensively, i.e. Warner Robins, and coming up against this week against Wayne so far this season, is when you do play the team that can execute fast, and all of a sudden it seems like everything is in fast forward. What you talked about, the steps, and then I think something else we've talked about, the eyes. If you can just go rep for rep, even if it's not against an overly fast or great team, do your correct steps, have your eyes where they're supposed to be, that will translate when you play the really good offenses.
It does, and that's what you have to do. You have to have your eye discipline and your step discipline, whatever that is, and you will lose it when your team playing teams that just aren't very good.
Right.
And so, that's why we have to do some stuff against ourselves sometimes. But yeah, we're trying to maintain discipline in that.
I will say this: when you're playing safety and you have a guy like Cam Cody and then Guyton in front of you, it's kind of easy to just be like, all right, I got it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hang out back here.
It does make it a little bit easier.
We used to do is we'd count the loaf reps on film, and our coach would just present that to us like, this is what we're doing. You get 10 of these a year, and this is what we're doing.
Yep, we've done that. I haven't done it as of late because of the pace that everybody plays
Sure.
at. I used to do 11 within 11 yards of the ball.
Okay.
And how many? And we would have a percentage. We wanted 65, 70% of the time. Camera shuts off. There's 11 people within 11 yards of the ball. The truth is, it's just now with the offense was spread out sideline to sideline, and everybody's going so fast. Hell, you can't
right,
but you can't get there because
that's a Catholic school. We know. About
that.
I
got you. The backside corner. If he's running all the way to get in that camera frame, they're already running the play.
Right.
Here, so he's
just kind of run back, get set for the next play.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can't really do that. So, but we definitely are watching for the lows for sure.
And Coach, a couple more minutes here, but again, getting ready for Wayne County. Coming off of a bye week, 3 games left in the regular season. Do you kind of start to feel it? The temperature's cooling down a little bit. You're getting into those last few games of region play before you ramp up for hopefully a playoff run. I think you can guarantee that with a win tomorrow night. You start to kind of feel it a little bit like you're getting onto the speeding train here, and it's about to be full tilt.
Oh, we've been feeling it since, be honest with you, we've been feeling it since we beat Ware. And we've been talking about it. And, guys, hey, we're in a great situation, and we're finally healthy. And, let's don't mess this up. I had the seniors over last Wednesday night. Steph and I did, and for dinner, and just talking to them about, can't you feel it? Don't you realize how things feel right now and what we're playing and what we have ahead of us and the opportunities we have, and they can. So, yeah, baby, we're feeling it.
Kind of feels like the blinders start to come on a little bit, and all the stuff peripherally just stops being important, and then Friday night is what matters. So, again, big-time game coming up. Last chance for the home crowd to see you in the regular season. Was an unbelievable crowd for homecoming. I think there might have been more people in the tailgate area than were in the stadium, and that was as the game was going on. How important is it for the kids and just the atmosphere to have another game like that?
It's huge. I don't think everybody understands how much work these kids put in, and you just need those opportunities. And, yes, that was unbelievable crowd, atmosphere, everything, a couple Fridays ago. And we don't get but many of these. And I feel bad because, I feel like I let everybody down by not getting another home game this year. So come out, be loud, support them. It means a lot. It really does. So hopefully we can, have a big crowd. It should be perfect weather. Actually.
Yeah. And I'll say this, if you're a fan of live entertainment, nothing beats live football. I went down, watched the Jaguars play the Seahawks this past weekend, and it's just, the NFL's fun to watch on TV, but just seeing those dudes live and in person flying around, like a 60-yard pass looks so much cooler in person than it does on TV. What else are you doing on a Friday night? Get out there, watch a great football game between some teams that are going to send guys off to the next level, and just really get to experience what high school football is all about. That's Friday night.
I got 2 shout outs.
Oh, let's go.
I got 2 shout outs I got to give. I got Laura Chan listens every single time. And here's your shout out, Laura. And I appreciate you listening. And then Pat Fogarty wanted me to announce that Sean and his wife had Archer Harris Fogarty a little over a week ago. beautiful baby boy. So there's my 2 shout outs for those guys.
Okay, just by name alone, and obviously you know the family, what position is Archer playing here in about 16 years?
Well, seeing that his father is 6'4", about 330, I feel like he'll play offensive line.
But with a name like Archer, that's dangerous. I feel like that's got to be like a defensive end, maybe D tackle.
Maybe we'll see. Maybe he can move like his mom, and I've never even met the mom.
But if it's better than Dad,
it's got to be better than Dad.
Well, again, huge game coming up tomorrow night. This is where all the memories are. These guys, 4 years from now, will be thinking about this game as another group of seniors gets ready to go. So come out, support these guys. Last chance to see them at home in the regular season as Benedictine Cadets. Coach, we appreciate the time and excited for senior night tomorrow night.
Yeah, thank you. Go Cadets.